What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe alongside the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder. Big shout out to Garber Nissan and Garber Hyundai for providing both of these SUVs for today's video. Check out the link to their websites linked down below. Now, this specific Pathfinder is a platinum for 55 grand, and then we have a limited going for 47 grand. However, depending on how you mix and match, you could get a calligraphy, which is gonna be closer to the low 50s, or you could drop the Pathfinder down a notch and it would be under 50. So you can buy these 3-row family crossovers for both around $50,000. Which one are you gonna go for? Comment down below. Let's get right into it. Taking a look at the performance specifications for the Hyundai Santa Fe, you're gonna find a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This has 277 horsepower with 311 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. We also have all-wheel drive. Max towing capacity is 3,500 pounds and the curb weight is 4,500 pounds. For the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder, this utilizes a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder. This V6 makes 285 horsepower with 259 pound-feet of torque, has a 9-speed automatic transmission, 4-wheel drive system. Curb weight is 4,600 pounds, and this one can tow 6,000 pounds. The Pathfinder also is going to get 20 mpg in the city with 25 out on the highway, and the Santa Fe will also get 20 in the city, but 28 out on the highway. Onto the exterior styling, which couldn't be more different. For the Hyundai Santa Fe, you have this super retro boxy design. You can see the cool H design for the LED headlights. Everything is really squared off. You have a lot of flat body panels. This Atlas blue looks really cool. You can see the flat design on the hood, and then as we make our way to the side, you can see just how squared off and boxy this car is. For the Nissan Pathfinder, a much more traditional looking SUV with a lot more curves. Got some LEDs on the headlights as well with some incandescent bulbs. They both have forward-facing cameras, 360 camera system, parking sensors, all that good stuff. And then just a good side look for the Pathfinder with some nice rounded designs and a cool look around those windows. So certainly very different. This is more of a retro style, smaller looking vehicle, while the Pathfinder looks a little bit bigger. For the rear ends, the Santa Fe, once again, super boxy, squared off. You got more of that H design throughout those taillights, and then a really cool edgy look for the fender arches. Nissan Pathfinder, it's got the name written out, and once again, just a bit more conservative, traditional style for a 3-row SUV. Now moving on to the interior with the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. This has a pretty cool look. I do like all these soft touch materials for the dash. You have this nice light gray wood trim, and then on the door panel, it's all soft touch materials with that cool wood trim. You have a nice set of leather seating with this nice light gray color, and then the headliner, there are 2 different sunroofs, one in the back and one in the front, and the headliner is a pretty neat color. You have garage door buttons underneath the center mirror. For the steering wheel, finished in the light gray, of course you have all of your typical buttons for cruise control. There are paddle shifters as well. The center screen has cameras for the turn signals, and then of course just a couple things you can go through in the center. Multimedia screen, about what you're expecting on every Hyundai. You have all these massive tiles. Very easily you can go through everything. Nice size full screen navigation system. And then there is a 360 camera system. So you have all of that. You can view your front top down. 360 view, of course, you can easily spin that around. And then for the drive select, you have this cool dial over here that you can just kind of twist. There are physical climate controls, heated and vented seats, heated steering wheel as well. We have a 4-wheel drive lock, a couple different drive modes too, which is a nice touch to see. And then we have shortcuts for a few more. You got a wireless phone charging pad, storage underneath there, and overall, pretty good look at the interior. I think it is laid out very well. The front seats are definitely nice and roomy and quite comfortable. And now moving on to the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder. Once again, you're going to get a lot of the nice soft touch materials all throughout it. I do like the 2-tone on this. You have storage cubbies as well, and then on the door panel, more of the soft touch. Now this one is going to get the semi-aniline and genuine leather for the seating. Feels very nice, very high end. Both cars do have pretty nice feeling interiors. This one gets one massive panoramic sunroof, garage door buttons as well. For the steering wheel, we're going to get all the basic controls as you would expect, paddle shifters too, and then the center screen a little bit more basic. However, you have all the same information for the most part. You have different shortcuts, full screen navigation system, You can go under your camera. A little bit smaller screens, as you can tell, but you still get the top-down view and then a nice 360 design. For the center gauge cluster, you can configure it, which is a cool touch. You can get 2 different designs, and then you get a little bit more information throughout the center, all sorts of cruise control settings, audio, and things like that. You can monitor your 4-wheel drive system as well. A few more trip information. Both cars are going to give you memory seating up here. Very nice place to be. And you also have the physical climate controls, heated and vented seats, the steering. You can adjust your rear, of course, dual zone. Cars are each going to have wireless charging, extra plugs, all sorts of storage. And then we have a lot more drive modes for the Pathfinder, even a tow mode as well. So this one's a little bit more feature packed for the drive modes. However, the Hyundai has a little bit fancier interior overall. You have extra storage down below and then nice materials all throughout it. So onto the back seat space for the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. So I'm 5'11". I have a ton of headroom with the driver's seat at my height. I also have a ton of legroom and footroom. We have storage cubbies. There's going to be air vents on these pillars, and you also do have manual sunshades. Now this has some nice soft touch interior materials all throughout the back with the wood trim. There's even a heated seat button. Panoramic roof in back is quite nice for all the rear seat passengers. And then in the center, you're going to get a nice armrest as well as cup holders. So really can't complain with the second row. We can also recline the seat quite a lot. So it would be a really good family road trip vehicle. And we can even slide this way forwards and way back. There's also going to be USB ports on the back side of these front seats. Now onto the Nissan Pathfinder. Once again, sitting here, I have plenty of headroom, driver's seat at my height, plenty of knee room and foot room. We have climate controls all down here with our heated seat button. There are a couple plugs, so right in the center. You have cup holders on the side. There's also going to be manual sunshades, and then we have our air vents up above. In the center, you still get nice armrests along with cup holders and a storage area for like a cell phone or so. And then these seats also have good movements for reclining. I mean, you get really comfortable here. They have a bar too to slides forwards and back. I don't think there is a clear winner for the back seats. They are both honestly equally comfortable, equally equipped, and then all the same nice materials for both cars. Now moving on to the third row for the Santa Fe, you have a button on the side as well as the upper section, and you can get those seats easily forward. Now for the third row, this one is going to feature 2 seats back here, finishing all the same nice materials. There are going to be storage areas. We have a climate vent on each side, the USB port, as well as an AC control. Now sitting back here at 5'11", I do have pretty good headroom. The seat is pretty low. This is not a jumbo SUV, so my knees are very much in my chest. However, if we go ahead and slide these seats back, as long as these aren't crazy far back, my knees do have room without touching. However, they're still up in my chest. So it's not too bad. These seats will recline a little bit. Onto the Pathfinder, you're also going to get the button on the side of the seat where you can get the whole seat out of the way, and then you also have one up here as well. For this does seat 3 people in the third row. You also have the collapsing headrest, and then back here there's also cup holders. We have a couple plugs, and then air vents are going to be sitting up in the headliner there. Now sitting back here, these seats will also recline. So in the upright position, a little stiff, but if we pull them backwards, not really all too bad. We have a pretty nice amount of headroom and everything like that. And then putting the seat back, once again, my knees are a little cramped. These seats are very low and my knees are right against this with this reclined. So honestly, the exact same rear seat room, I would say. So far, these interiors are basically gonna fit your family the exact same way. So moving on to cargo volume, in the Hyundai Santa Fe, you're going to get 14.6 cubic feet with the third row in the up position, and you can also see the differences in recline angle. Down below, we can pull this up, you're going to get a little bit of hidden storage space down here. Now from here, this is the recline lever, of course, and then down below, you can pull this, it'll get those headrests out of the way, and we can fold them nice and flat. So pretty good to use, very quick and easy. And then now with the third row folded flat, this is going to bump it up to 40.5 cubic feet. So certainly super roomy in here. And then there are buttons over on this far right side that you can press, and we can get these seats flat folding. As you can tell, we have a ton of space, bumping it up to 79.6 cubic feet of cargo volume. Over in the Nissan Pathfinder, this one has 16.6 cubic feet with the third row up, so just slightly larger. And then you can see the recline angle once again. For the storage on the floor, you can pull this up. We have a lot more storage here, which is great for grocery shopping. And then you can individually pull these headrests down very easily. And then that recline lever we can pull and get these to fold nice and flat. So very easy to do, not too hard at all. And they each are gonna have straps to pull these seats back up. So once you go ahead and pull these nice and flat, it bumps it up to 47 cubic feet of cargo volume. And then for the second row, unfortunately, you are gonna have to walk around to the side to go ahead and maneuver them down. So there is one point for the Hyundai, you have to do this. For the Nissan, to get both sides down. And then of course, with both sides down, bumps up to 80.5 cubic feet. So overall, both cars are nearly the same with cargo volume, just a little bit easier access in the Hyundai, and then both cars have power lift gates. So we're gonna start off in the Hyundai Santa Fe. So a little bit interesting getting used to the drive select right there. This is a little bit lower of a car. This is more of like what you would expect a crossover SUV to be all about. It's more car-like than, body on frame tough SUV-like. So with that, we're a little bit lower to the ground, just kind of feeling more like your normal sedan or something like that. But getting my bearings with this, it's really easy to see around. Again, we're not crazy high up off the ground. You have a really good view out the front. These are nice and flat and in line with the hood. So visibility is really good. It's very open and spacious in the Santa Fe. The interior also very nicely appointed with these softer touch materials throughout everything. Everything really does look good. Now we have a turbo 4-cylinder dual clutch and the all-wheel drive system. It packs a punch. There's a lot of good power in this. And in fact, you have more torque in this than in that V6. So the power delivery is pretty good in here. And the dual clutch is pretty snappy, especially if we go into sport mode and use the paddles. This is a little bit fun to drive. Like, it actually has somewhat of that sports car feeling to it, given we have a dual clutch. So that is a cool touch to see. It shifts really quickly. The steering is effortless. It's just an easy car to drive and just ultra peppy, I think, with the turbo engine. With that, the tech is pretty easy to use. I like the turn signals camera. That definitely helps out with the visibility quite a lot. It's an easy, normal car to drive. It's very smooth and quiet too. The suspension absorbs the bumps very well. It's also pretty insulated from the surrounding noise. We're gonna get onto a bad road now, just kind of a bumpy road, getting up to normal speed, and it will get up to speed nicely and be pretty quiet overall. Going around these quicker turns seems pretty flat and composed too. The steering feels really nice, and hitting bumps, absorbs bumps really well. So just a good street focused crossover. Really no complaints with driving. Obviously towing isn't all too impressive on it, so it's not really that rugged or tough of a vehicle. So if you're just looking for a good family on-road SUV, this is a great way to go without breaking the bank. Onto the Nissan Pathfinder. So already you're definitely a little bit higher up, and you can tell that the windows are not as big. The boxy design on the Santa Fe really do give you just an insane view with just huge windows. This is a bit more normal, so that's kind of above and beyond with just massive windows. Visibility's all still pretty good, but still, when you have a boxy vehicle, that does translate to an incredible view around. So this now, getting up with the V6, we still have a sport mode we can go into. We have the manual mode that you can play with as well. And getting up and going in an old school V6. I mean, still no slouch. This gets up to speed very nicely. There's a little bit smoother power delivery in this just because we have a naturally aspirated engine. The turbo, you gotta let it just build boost just a little bit, and then it hits a little harder. So this is a little bit smoother power delivery, but you can tell it doesn't have that initial punch like a turbo. So that's kind of a toss-up and probably gonna be a big deciding factor between people cross-shopping these vehicles. A lot of people love old school, robust 6-cylinders versus a turbocharged 4-cylinder. So I'm kind of 50-50. I like the power in the turbo. I love the dual clutch. It definitely gives that kind of a fun factor. However, this might be more of a robust engine and just a little bit simpler over time if you're gonna own this for 10 years or something like that. So already, yeah, we're definitely higher up. The suspension still feels really nice. I love these semi-aniline genuine leather on these. These feel amazing. The Hyundai is still really nice interior. I love all the soft touches in this too. Man, they honestly almost drive the same. This doesn't feel all too much more like rugged. This is definitely a more rugged vehicle though. It is a lot more capable for the tough things. So while it doesn't drive harsh or anything like maybe a Toyota 4Runner or something that is body on frame, you know, it does have a little bit tougher aspect, less car-like than in the Hyundai. As we take a turn, you know, you can feel a little bit more of that top heavy weight being a taller SUV. Steering is still really nice, can't complain at all. Again, everything you touch, you know, feels good. Great seating position, good materials, plenty of room in here as well. And then back to a straightaway, just slowly accelerating. Yeah, you definitely have a bit tougher sounding engine. The turbo doesn't sound bad at all. There's some cars out there that sound really wimpy. The Hyundai still sounds beefy enough for what it is. But overall street driving, this really does drive pretty good. I like to see how this doesn't feel ultra rugged or annoying to drive in the day-to-day. Neither of these cars are dedicated off-roaders like a Jeep Wrangler. So 99.9% of the time you're gonna be on the streets. And it's nice to see that this specific trim Pathfinder is really street capable. It's really comfortable. Soft suspension absorbs bumps well. The ride quality both feels the same. So after driving in the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder and the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe, either option would be great. If you're looking for a 3-row family SUV around that $50,000 mark, both of these are really comfortable and nice to drive on the road. Some of the biggest differences, the Nissan Pathfinder does offer you that extra seat in the 3rd row, which is a nice touch depending on how many people you're usually gonna have in your car. You can also get the captain chairs, of course, which is a great touch. Hyundai Santa Fe, however, gives you the ability to fold down the 2nd row from the cargo space, which does make it a lot easier. The Santa Fe is a little bit lower, so it's a little bit easier to get in and out of versus the Pathfinder, feeling more like your typical SUV. I also do like the fact that the Pathfinder tows a lot. 6,000 pounds, you can tow a real boat with this. You can use this for some serious recreation activities versus maybe a small utility trailer. So I think the towing might be one of the biggest things that's gonna differentiate a Santa Fe from a Pathfinder. Personally, if I was gonna buy one of these, I would probably lean Pathfinder mainly because it can tow a serious amount of weight. And the fact that it has a V6, I kind of like that. It just feels a little bit more tough as an SUV. I think the Santa Fe though is a little bit better if you're strictly never gonna be towing and really just on-road driving all the time. That is just a little bit lower, a little bit more open feeling, and then both cars have really nice interiors. So I think it's kind of a toss-up. Do you want a 4-cylinder, do you want a 6-cylinder, and do you need something that can tow and has a little bit better 4-wheel drive off-road capabilities? So that's kind of the differentiation factor. So that is it for the Santa Fe versus the Pathfinder. Comment below, what are your thoughts? Which one are you gonna buy for around $50,000? Big shout out to Garber Nissan and Garber Hyundai for providing both cars for today's video. Check out their website, link below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.